In the news now, there's an article that I've been waiting for a very long time. And those of you that have attended my meetings, especially the ones in Gauteng and also in some of the other places where we had long meetings, I mentioned this name, Tokyo Sexwale. And I've been waiting for him to actually come to the forefront. And now there's an article out that proves that the dynamics I've been thinking of in the past are actually playing out at the moment. And I'll explain them as I go through this article. And the headline for this article, and this was in News 24, reads: Finance Minister Tito Mboweni rubbishes Tokyo Sexwale's claims about stolen billions. Now, when Tokyo Sexwale says something, you need to take notice. He says something for a reason, and there's a reason why he's making these accusations at the moment. Very important reasons at that as well. And at the end of the article, you will see that we get to the crux of what this is about. I've mentioned before, 3 people earmarked to become leaders of this country for the New World Order agenda: Cyril Ramaphosa, Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma, and Tokyo Sexwale. And they were all lined up to be able to fulfill or fill that position. And Tokyo was plan C, the person that will be held in the back pocket just in case the others become a problem. NDZ, problem long time ago. So because she has been fighting the narrative, there's a huge problem now, and Cyril is getting pop in the arm. You can see that he's struggling. I've mentioned this many times before, and there's concerns that he might actually not do the job that they have set him out to do, his puppet masters. And I've covered this extensively in a video that has now gone viral, where the Ruperts actually gave instructions to Cyril Ramaphosa. This was leaked to the media, and obviously the Naspers controlled media had a field day with this, said that it was rubbish, and claimed that it's not true. But the sub-headlines read: Tito Mboweni says Tokyo Sexwale was scammed regarding claims he made on television about a heritage fund. Sexwale said there was a fund supposed to pay for free education and to contribute to the COVID-19 relief efforts. He said money was stolen from the fund and nothing was left. Okay, so he's saying that money was put into this fund, a lot of money, you'll hear later how much, and he says there's nothing left now. He also claims that he was responsible for helping with the administration of this fund. Now, the first thing you will learn is that nothing is what it seems, and this information was not supposed to come out in the mainstream media. So it's a huge problem, and Tito Mboweni is trying to do damage control here. But I will give you Tokyo Sexwale's narrative and how he is trying to circumnavigate Cyril Ramaphosa and prepare a way for him to actually look like the savior in the story. Just like Patricia de Lille came up with the arms deal so-called scandal, and from there her rise to fame was rapid. Finance Minister Tito Mboweni has decried unfortunate claims by businessman Tokyo Sexwale that billions were stolen from an education trust fund, and added that Sexwale was caught by a common scam. So what is Tito Mboweni now saying? That this fund was just scammed? I mean, really, this is a pathetic explanation. National Treasury and the South African Reserve Bank, in a statement late on Monday, said Sexwale wasn't the only one fooled. So they're saying that people have been fooled by the fact that the money is gone and that they were scammed. National Treasury and the SARB have previously received correspondence from Mr. Sexwale and many others that alleges that billions of rands have been stolen from a fund that has been referred to as the White Spiritual Boy Trust, and which was set up by a foreign donor. Listen to this, people, and you will see that nothing is what it seems. I quote, "It is further alleged that there are trillions of dollars in the said fund, and that inter alia a certain Mr. Goodwin Aaron Webb was its mandated representative in South Africa," the statement read. On investigation, the South African Reserve Bank confirmed that it had no records of the existence of the said fund, and it had advised Mr. Sexwale in writing that, given the SARB experience and knowledge of this and other similar matters, it could only conclude that the alleged fund was a scam. In other words, that it never existed. Very convenient. But remember what is happening here. This is Tokyo Sexwale laying claims to be able to make certain people look bad make him look like the person with the good intentions, and then open a pathway to become the president in future. Let me continue, it will become patently clear. Mboweni tweeted on Monday, this is now Finance Minister Tito Mboweni, Mr. Tokyo Sexwale's statement about stolen money is untrue and seems that he was a victim of the many scams abound. You cannot steal transmitted money from the central bank. How? His statement on television was unfortunate. We'll reach out to him. This is what Tito Mboweni said. So according to him, none of this exists. Mr. Tokyo Sexwale's statement about stolen money is untrue, sad, and seems that he was a victim of the many scams abound. Okay, this is now the tweet of Tito Mboweni. As usual, the link to this article will be in the description below the video, and I encourage you to go and read this there. Read it yourself. Sexwale dropped a surprise bombshell during an interview with JJ Tabane on his ENCA show Power to Truth, by claiming there was a heritage fund with billions of rands supposed to pay for free education for the needy, as well as to contribute to the South Africa's COVID-19 relief efforts. Treasury and the Reserve Bank said that over the years received many such requests for or promises of billions and now trillions of rands or dollars, and from experience regard these as simply scams. Okay, now why would Tokyo Sexwale be scammed by something like this? According to the statement, any claim that such funds are meant for deserving causes such as COVID-19 relief, social grants, or grants for free education are simply empty promises to secure the interest of the potential victim. So what they're saying is that Tokyo is being scammed here. Now what you need to remember, and I apologize for the alarm, what you need to remember here is that Tokyo Sexwale is supposed to be a successful businessman. So for him to fall prey to a scam like this is absolutely pathetic. But let's continue, it gets better. Sexwale wasn't the first prominent person acting on behalf of this Mr. Webb or an unknown donor for such funds, the statement read. Some requests date back to many years before 2016. So they're saying many things like this has happened in the past. The South African Reserve Bank can confirm that all cross-border transactions are reported to the SRB by commercial banks who are appointed as authorized dealers in foreign exchange transactions. The SARB has concluded that there is no evidence to support the existence of such funds, the statement read. So they said these funds just don't exist. The statement said if Sexwale believed otherwise, the onus was on him and his unknown sponsor to provide independent written proof of the existence and or transfer of such funds, as well as certified copies of actual identification and citizenship of such donors in line with the normal FICA-type anti-money laundering requirements. Allegations of theft of non-existent funds have no validity. So they're saying the fund never existed, therefore he cannot claim that the money in the fund vanished. This is where the interesting part starts now, and we're building up to the end of the article. Okay? Tokyo Sexwale told Tabane this, JJ Tabane, I am part of two people who are in charge of the Heritage Fund that belongs to a very powerful family out there in the world. This fund is here in South Africa already. It comes through the SA Reserve Bank. I'm part of two people who are mandate holders. This is what Tokyo Sexwale said. He said both former President Jacob Zuma as well as his successor, President Cyril Ramaphosa, knew about this fund, as well as Mboweni and his predecessor, whom he didn't name. So Tokyo claims that the fund is real. Education. The fund was one of the reasons why Zuma announced free tertiary education for indigent students ahead of the ANC's National Elective Conference at Nasrec in 2017. Sexwale said he was in the process of making sure this money is brought into the economy. We found some resistance, he says. And when we checked the resistance, we found some of this money has been stolen. He said the alleged theft was reported with the police 2 weeks ago and they were investigating. So he actually laid criminal charges. This is where the best is to come. It has not been clarified what the Heritage Fund was that Sexwale was referring to and why it took so long for knowledge of this fund to be made public. Sexwale has previously made a bid for the ANC presidency ahead of the ANC's conference in 2007. So this was a while ago, when he ended up throwing his weight behind Zuma. And in 2012, when he ran for deputy president, he lost against Ramaphosa with about a tenth of the votes that Ramaphosa got. The ANC's next elective conference is set to take place next year. People, I told you that Tokyo Sexwale will come into the fray. He is the person that can challenge Cyril Ramaphosa. This was always planned as a backup, and it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. So it'll all depend what Cyril Ramaphosa does. And in that viral video of mine where I spoke of the Rupert's instructions to Cyril Ramaphosa, I made it clear later, and especially in my meetings, that I believe Cyril Ramaphosa leaked that information himself as some form of a lifeline, because that man is under severe pressure from these people. It can't be nice to just be beholden to your puppet masters, and I think his time is running out, and Tokyo Sexwale is ready to take the helm from him. And he's not going to do what we want. He's going to play the same game. He might even play the game harder, depending on what he promises the puppet masters. He must have had conversations with them already. It's going to be fascinating to see how this pans out. But behind the scenes at the moment, there's many people that claim to be future presidents of the country that are killing each other, and it's going to be no different in the ruling party. I thank everyone that watches this video. Please share this with your friends and family. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not yet, and click the bell icon to receive notifications for future videos. And be on the lookout for when I'm in your area, and I'll be having meetings there. And remember to watch the video on virtual meetings or online meetings, live stream meetings that I'll be having in future, to make it possible for people to get to the information faster. Thank you to everyone that's contributed towards this channel. Please, we need your support. The Days Capitec bank account is in the description below the video. Small amounts makes a difference if there's numerous people contributing, and there's so much that we need to do still, and we don't have sufficient funds to do everything that we need to do, especially arrange the larger events. So remember, there's a 200,000 Rand fund. We've received about 5,000 Rand towards that. We need that to increase greatly to have large events across the country, and this is very important, that we see people in larger numbers. Thank you very much for your support. Till the next video.